Hello and welcome to the Friday edition of the Locker Room and Voice of the People TV, compliments of the season. I am Jerry Apelahai, your go-to host for all things football. And today we've got some exciting stories and breaking news to dive into. And of course, we'll be discussing major football happenings in the world of football. And I've got the guys with me in the studio. I have James and Maiwa joins us virtually, and we're here to share their insights on and hot takes on all the action to expect this weekend. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never get to miss an exciting episode of the locker room. Compliments of the season. James, it's great to have you once again.
Thank you, Jerry, and a very good evening to you and the viewers. A very good evening, and that beautiful day to talk football. Friday and the weekend, and yes, Christmas is almost here, and we're in the spirit of celebration. Also, Manchester United yesterday giving a fair account of themselves. Their shaky performances against Tottenham, but it was a fair game at the end. And when you look at it in general on how Manchester United have been since the beginning of the season, and now barely 2 months or 1 month into Ruben Amorim, we are seeing the boys fight for everything, giving it their all on the speed of play. So it's a good one, and I think it's something they can build on in the future. And the style of play is coming out there and it's showing. So, and it's also a weekend, and we know what comes with the weekend. A lot of football actions are going to be coming up in the EPL and also in the La Liga and all in the major leagues around. So we're out there to watch and see what happens in the course of the weekend.
All right, we're out there to watch out and see what happened in the course of the weekend. Maiwa joins us virtually. Maiwa, compliments of the season. All right, Maiwa still not in with us yet, but virtually he will join us eventually. All right, former Nigerian international defender talking about Efe Ambrose claims that the former head coach of the Nigerian senior national team, Yusuf Peseiro, should bear significant responsibility for the team's disappointing position in the qualifiers for the 2026 World Cup. Do you agree with Efe Ambrose? Even at that, it's melting after death. He has already left the position. So are they going to call him back and give him some whips? Or are they going to hold on to his salaries, which he has already been paid? And it looks like crying over spilled milk.
At this point, all these ones they are saying, all this train of blames is medicine after death for me. Because at this point, train of blames and shading blames and saying who is at fault and who is not at fault is not going to get us anywhere at this point. Obviously, it's not going to get us anywhere. The main focus is thinking of how to move forward. And I said it, I will not be surprised if we don't make it to the next phase of the next World Cup at this point, because it's looking like the NFF don't know what they are doing. And number one. And also, Jose Peseiro, yes, he did contribute, and I will not blame him also because I think the games he managed was like his first set of games. I think his first two games, that was where he managed the boys in the World Cup qualifiers, and they were not able to get the result. So looking at it, it's not what I will blame just Peseiro only. And if the NFF had continued with Peseiro after the AFCON, the two games under Finidi George that didn't go well, I'm sure if Peseiro was the manager in that particular game, I'm sure it would have been a different result. So looking at it, I'll not just blame Peseiro. So I think he should focus more on the NFF. The NFF that didn't have a plan, that didn't have a plan B in case when they decided on letting Peseiro go. Peseiro was obvious. It was obvious Peseiro was not going to be the manager after the AFCON. What arrangement did the NFF put in place? So looking at it, it's not about shedding the blame at this point. I think it's focusing on getting the solution. If you want to shed the blame, actually, you start with the NFF, and also maybe after draining the NFF, you can come for the Jose Peseiro. But at this point, all this it won't make any difference. Let's just focus on taking our football forward. If they can get somebody that will do the job and make us qualify for the next World Cup, perfect. If they can't, let's start planning for the future. But shedding of blame to Peseiro or whatever is medicine after death for me at this point.
All right, of course, and some would say it's melting after that. And Jameson shares in that opinion. And let's not forget that the Super Eagles currently sit fifth in their six-team group, trailing league leaders. Talking about the table, leaders Rwanda by 4 points. Mayo is with us, compliment of the season. I hope the goat and chicken are already crying at the backyard ahead of Christmas Day.
It's always amazing to hear. A lot of people are getting the Christmas mood. I was at the office recently and I had this Christmas art to show for it. But in any case, Manchester United kicked out of the Carabao Cup. I didn't see that coming, but in any case, they gave a good account of themselves, and those are the positives you want to take away from that particular game. Arsenal will have a not, a tough nut to crack in Newcastle, and I'm looking forward to that. But in any case, like I always say, it's a good Friday to talk football. TGIF.
Yeah, so many things are happening to United at the same time. Wish them all the best. We're just talking about Ambrose, who says that the blame should be on Peseiro for the team's situation as far as the World Cup qualifiers is concerned.
Well, in as much as I want to slightly agree with him, however, you can't put the total blame on Jose Pasero.
All right, Mario, are you still with us? All right, so be some technical glitches there, okay? And when Mario joins us eventually, when the network lets go of him, we'll be able to take his own view, and that's one. All right, let's talk about Victor Osimhen, where Manchester United legend Rio Ferdinand believes that Victor Osimhen would make an excellent addition to Arsenal. You don't need a soothsayer to tell you that Osimhen brings a lot to the table. Imagine he was in that Arsenal squad. It would be a different kettle of fish.
Definitely, we don't need to say it. Definitely to say that obviously we're saying this over the course of the summer, where the whole transfer saga of Victor Osimhen was going on at Napoli and Chelsea. I was saying the best option for this guy is obviously Chelsea, because for obviously Arsenal, because looking at it, they don't have a strong centre forward. And they don't have a centre forward that will guarantee them 20 goals in a season. So looking at those options, the criteria fit. Obviously the right option was Victor Osimhen. I was surprised throughout the course of the summer they didn't even make mention of getting a striker. They were all bent on getting Calafiori and Merino all through. And definitely, Ferdinand has a point. With the inclusion of Osimhen, take this team further. Definitely, definitely. But the management from Arsenal, Arteta, I don't think they see him as. They don't see the striking forward as one of the positions they need to get somebody in for. They are still banking on the likes of Gabriel Jesus and Kai Havertz. Gabriel Jesus, not to forget, is just coming back from scoring a trick, and I think then maybe their mind is settled for now, and they are thinking they don't need the striker. But obviously, with the inclusion of Victor Osimhen in that Arsenal side, having the players like Bukayo Saka and Martin Odegaard around him, they are creating the chances. I'm sure he's going to be banging in goals in the EPL. But let's just see if maybe before the end of the season and in the course of the summer, Arsenal gets their home in order and their transfer market in order, then they can go all out to get Osimhen. He's still in the market for now. I think it's about 75 or 70 million. So that's a fair price to get somebody that is going to guarantee you at least 20 goals in the EPL once every season. So if they want to be serious about getting the title or being in the title race, I think Victor Osimhen is one option they should be looking at in the future.
All right, and of course, some very, very challenging and interesting one for Arsenal, who has refused to sign a pinpoint man. Gabriel Jesus, after going on sabbatical, just recently came back with a hat trick. They said some said Jesus is the reason for the season. Maybe he decided to show up in the Christmas season. Maybe he will score goals for them in the month of December. I don't know about January, February, and March, which are the most crucial part of the season for a club side that want to challenge for titles. You don't need a striker who really scores during Christmas periods. That would be a very disastrous one for a team that want to compete for titles. Maiwa, if we understand, if he's back with us, Maiwa, you were just finishing your comment on Efe Ambrose, and before we move over to Rio Ferdinand, the Man United legend, who believes that Victor Osimhen would make an excellent addition to Arsenal.
We've said it over and over again. I think if Ateta is serious about doing anything fantastic in the EPL, definitely you will need a striker that can guarantee you at least 20-25 goals for you to be able to have a shouting chance at competing at winning anything tangible. One of the problems with Arsenal this season is they don't have a dedicated finisher, and it usually shows any day a Saka or the guard does not turn up, you don't usually get the result. And I hope the January transfer window is approaching. I hope Ateta is not that strong-headed or strong-hearted that he will not think about getting a striker. He definitely needs a striker for him to be able to move on. He should take a cue from Guardiola. Guardiola did not win a Champions League until he got a dedicated striker. I think the same thing applies to Arsenal. I think Rio Ferdinand, is very, very correct on this one.
All right, so of course, everybody loves Victor Osimhen because he's doing well for himself, even out there in the Turkish league. All right, let's talk about Gift Orban, who has found himself out of favor at French club side Olympique Lyon, is reportedly nearing an agreement with German Bundesliga side Hoffenheim. Renowned transfer expert Fabrizio Romano has indicated that the deal is close. He stated regarding Gift Orban and Hoffenheim. I don't know about Nigerian players when it comes to the German Bundesliga, save for Victor Boniface, who's doing well right now. Maybe we can take that as a yardstick that hopefully playing for Hoffenheim will favor Gift Orban since his spell at Lyon did not actually pay out.
Definitely, I think it's a good one that Leon are making plans of letting him go to Hoffenheim and join the German Bundesliga to do at least since they fell out. I think it was earlier this season, and they had a fallout between each other. And him making a move to the German Bundesliga is actually a very good one. It's not a bad league. It's still a place where he can improve on his craft and make sure he does not make the same mistakes he made at Lyon, at the French side. So it's still a good one, but Hoffenheim is a team that will not be fighting for titles as much as Lyon. But it's still a good place where he can develop his craft and put himself out there to see him, and maybe work on his attitude, and then he can start getting recognized by other top sides. But in the past we have seen that we know he has the ability to convert and score a lot of beautiful goals. We have seen him. He did that at Gent. He did that in the Europa League, and he did it a little bit of time at the French league. Now he's making his way to the German league, so it's not a bad one. I think he just has to improve and on his attitude, and maybe he'll be out of there in no time.
All right, maybe improve on his attitude. He'll be out in no time. Mayowa Gift Orban is on his way to the German Bundesliga. Hopefully he has a good time out there and return back to form. All right, we understand that Mayowa is having some bit of technical issue once more, but when he joins, definitely we'll reconnect with him. All right, let's talk about that. Okay, Mayowa, you're back.
Yeah. I mean, since he has fallen out of favor in Lyon, I mean, sitting on the bench will not do him any good. It will not do his career any good. And we have been clamoring for getting people who play regular football into the national team. Definitely, a move to Germany will probably guarantee him more playing time. And like James rightly said, it will probably guarantee him developing, doing way better than what he's doing right now. Because if he does not play, he doesn't get to improve, and probably his chances for playing to Super, becomes more slimmer. So I think it's a good one. I hope, however, he needs to work on whatever it is that happened between him and his manager that made them fall out, to work on that so that it doesn't become a recurring business. It doesn't become another Mario Balotelli that has a whole lot of talent, but because of hot-headedness, it's always falling out with managers. And Mario Balotelli is playing in the in the back spaces of Europe right now. So I hope he keeps himself down, takes the move to Germany, and probably improve on himself there.
All right, probably improve on himself there. Talking about, I think, was it the same club side that Naby Keita went to? Oh, okay.
No,
it was Augsburg.
I think Naby Keita was it Werder Bremen also?
I think Augsburg or Werder Bremen. I can't remember. I think the club side had to discharge him when he refused.
That was obviously Naby Keita's fault. It's not.
Definitely his fault. Yeah, he has not been doing well. And okay, let's talk about Nantes winger. Talking about Moses Simon is set to undergo surgery in the coming days. And Simon picked up an injury during Nantes' 4-1 defeat to Bre last weekend, despite providing the assist for his team's only goal in the match. They lost 4-1. He's a very crucial player for Nantes, and him being out injured is going to be a very, very tough time for Nantes.
Obviously, it's going to be missed by the French side, and Moses Simon partly with injuries. Not just this season. I think last season also he had injury scare. Was it after the AFCON also where Ibrahim Gusa had to travel? Let's just see how long he'll be out for. And he's 29 already. He's 29 already, and his body is beginning to tell. I just hope he's showing that there's something building under Amorim. There was never a time that there were three goals down, and under Ten Hag, and the boys were still showing the spirit of fighting for every ball and scoring at least scoring 2 goals and bringing himself back into the game. I think in that particular one, Tottenham were not the better side. Obviously, I think we started the first half shaky. That's thanks to the likes of Anthony and let me say a little bit of Ericsson also. Those are players that you cannot bank on. The depth is not there. And when the subs came in the second half, the likes of Zegzi, Amad Diallo, and they saw the changes were in the game. They were now fighting. There were more fights in the front, and they were creating chances and scoring a lot of goals. Scoring the goals from the mistakes that Fraser Foster made. So looking at that particular game, it's a game that Manchester United fans should be proud of. I think in a bit, the second half especially, they can build for the day. Also making a flop of the first goal, and the fourth goal I caught him some slack because assuming there was a VAR, assuming VAR was used, it would give him excuse for that also. But it just shows that the performance of the second team was not good enough, and I'm sure Amorim has taken note. So in the future, he will not make such mistakes again. But it's a good one. It's a good upgrade from what we used to be. Created more chances than them. Had more shots on target, but just couldn't convert to get the final touch. But it's a good one, and Manchester United can build from that.
All right, it's a good one, and maybe it's side time Postecoglou start. All right, it's a good one, and maybe it's side time Postecoglou start preparing Tottenham Hotspur. Mario, are you back with us? We're just talking about Man United. That one we understand that technical glitches is still the major issue. All right, we'll talk about teenage sensation Mark Gui. He's shown like a million stars for Chelsea as they defeated Shamrock Rovers 5-1, securing the 6th straight win in the Europa Conference League and advancing to the last Chelsea in the Europa Conference League. All right, let's talk about Liverpool manager Arne Slot has praised Tottenham's Ange Postecoglou for his bold football philosophy and hopes he wins a trophy except the League Cup after the two teams were drawn in the semi-finals. I was even going to laugh. Yeah, hoping he wins the trophy, and you're forgetting you're going to meet him in semi-final. Anyway, he has told him, forget about this one, maybe another trophy. Maybe it's the Premier League or
that's the only trophy Ange Postecoglou can win. And
what about the FA Cup? He stands a chance.
I think there are still more top teams in the FA Cup. Now it's just left with Liverpool, Arsenal, and Newcastle. So if he can do the magic against a Liverpool side, then obviously when you go to the finals, you're expecting it to be even anybody that comes out of Liverpool. I think whoever is going to win the Carabao Cup is between Liverpool or Tottenham. Because
what about Arsenal?
Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised Newcastle go and defeat them. That's how inconsistent Arsenal has been.
Arsenal will still beat Newcastle United because they will want to feed the strong side.
You know the thing. You know the thing about all this Newcastle, Tottenham, and the likes. They will not want to field. Arsenal will not want to field their best 11. Liverpool may not want to field their best 11 also. I think that's one of the reasons they were able to overshadow or get the result against Manchester United yesterday, because the team we went for was obviously like the second team. And I think out of their first 11, I think just 2 or 3 players were out of their first 11 for Tottenham yesterday. So it was easy for them. So looking at Arsenal, will know that they are in strong contention on the other leagues. They want to give players like maybe Saka and Odegaard some minutes of rest and start the likes of Sterling and Trossard. Newcastle will not want to do the same routine. You will see everybody in their first team playing that game. So obviously, the the stronger team is going to get the result. But a second team Arsenal, I'm not sure it's going to be as strong as the first team Newcastle. So that's what I'm saying. So I'll not be surprised if Newcastle gets the result over the second team Arsenal. And Liverpool also, if Liverpool goes and field the same 11 they used against them, who do you guys play with 2 days back? Against Southampton. Obviously, you know Tottenham is going to get the result. So that's what I'm saying. Whoever wins between Tottenham and Liverpool will end up winning this trophy. So I'll not be surprised if Ange Postecoglou gets his first title at the end of the season.
All right, because he says that he always wins something in the second season. All right, let's talk about Manchester City. They're facing a critical match against Aston Villa on Saturday as they attempt to halt a troubling slide, having lost 8 of their last matches. All right. Meanwhile, Chelsea could temporarily take the lead in the Premier League if they secure a win. Liverpool leads the league but is dealing with a slight dip in form ahead of the challenge away game against talking about Tottenham. All right, Pep Guardiola is under pressure after City's recent poor performances, including a 2-1 loss to Manchester United. All right, those are the fixtures to look forward to. The match day, match week 17. There's Aston Villa, there's Brentford up against Nottingham Forest, there's Ipswich versus Newcastle United, and Crystal Palace up against Wolves. Manchester United take on Bournemouth, and Spurs up against Liverpool. That is the biggest fixture, and it's happening on Sunday. But 12:30 Man City, can they usurp Unai Emery's boys?
I don't think so. Considering the fact I was going through my news feed this afternoon, I saw the news of Ruben Diaz. He's already out injured for about 2-3 weeks. Again, joining the long list of injury crises that they are having, and now the top players are returning. And losing your one of your most important defenders. I think they're most important defenders, obviously, to like Ruben Diaz against a game like Aston Villa. Let's not forget Aston Villa has not been having it all easy for the past weeks currently. And I will not want to rule out Unai Emery. And the fact that it's even an early kickoff, that's the more reason why we should even be scared of it. Because that's one match I would not want to look at. I would not want to bank on anyone that will get the result at the end of the day. It can swing to any side at the end of the day. But also Crystal Palace and Arsenal, they had the game. Arsenal knocked them out of the Carabao back in the EPL. Let's see what they will in the EPL. Let's see how that one was going to pan out. Will Arsenal be able to do back-to-back against them, or will Arsenal suffer defeat or draw against Crystal Palace? I think I'll be looking out for that particular one. And for the most important one of the weekend, Spurs and Tottenham. Let's see the results. It's an interesting weekend to watch a lot of mouth-watering fixtures, and also Man United Bournemouth. Bournemouth has been in a good run of form throughout the season, and let's see how they're going to cope against Manchester United this weekend.
All right, let's see how they're going to cope. Talking about the Premier League schedule for the 2024-2025 season, they couldn't have dreamed of Barcelona and Atletico Madrid year-closing fixtures having a billing as good as this. Level on points in the table, and both teams showing they are firmly in the race for the title. This one promises to be a blockbuster clash on Saturday night. After starting the season in rampaging form, the early leaders Barcelona have reeled back in the likes of Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid. All of a sudden, Hansi Flick's side aren't so secure on the defensive end, and they have compounded that by losing their finishing touch more often, especially in their shock defeat to Leganes last time out. Okay, and those are the fixtures to look forward to as far as Barcelona is concerned versus Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid looks like the more informed side, and without Lamine Yamal, I don't see how they're going to be able to dispatch Atletico comfortably, even at the Nou Camp.
I think the best Barcelona can get from this result is a draw against Atletico, because Atletico is looking like the team that has been more informed than both Madrid and Barcelona in the course of the season. They came out, they sneaked their way up into the top of second of the log. Nobody even saw them come from anywhere, and now they are sitting comfortably in second. And they could see themselves go on top of the log if they defeat Barcelona. And coupled with the fact that Barcelona has been struggling even before Lamine Yamal was out injured, and now he's not going to be in that match. He's going to be heavily missed. I don't see a way for Barcelona to get full victory in this particular. I'll be surprised they get a full victory. It's football though. And let's not forget the last time that Lemmy Yamal was out injured for I think about 4 or 5 games. We know what happened in those 4 games also. They could barely get a victory. There was a particular one they were winning 2-0, and in a space of 3 minutes or 4 minutes, they conceded 2 goals and it ended into two. They also drop points in the Champions League and maybe let's hope and see if this has a solution for the absence of Lemmy Yamal. I think he's their most important forward in this season. So now that he's out injured, I hope Hansi Flick has a solution for that particular one. But without him, I see Atletico and the Simeone boys getting the results.
All right, of course, we want to wrap up with the Italian Serie A, where pressure mounts on Milan coach Paulo Fonseca for the result of the next 3 matches, which will determine the Portuguese future at the San Siro. Milan visit Verona in the opening match of Serie A round 17 this evening, a crucial game for the Rossoneri and their coach Fonseca. According to a report, the coach's future at San Siro will depend on the results of the following 3 competitive matches. And of course, Milan will play at home against Roma on December 29, and then in the first game of 2025, Milan will face Juventus in the Supercoppa semi-final in Riyadh on January 3rd. These are very big fixtures. I don't know how you want to give him tests for a struggling side, but they did well in the Champions League by beating Real Madrid. They are doing well in the Champions League. How come it looks like the league is shaky for them? Milan are 14 points below leaders Atlanta. That's massive. That's massive. Yeah.
Milan has, and let's not forget they've not been having a good enough fun. Even in the Champions League, they lost to Liverpool. Let's not forget, I think they lost their first 2-3 games or so before they were able to bounce back against Madrid and subsequently get some points in the bag in the Champions League. But it's a team that has not been doing very very well, and is ideal for when a manager is under pressure. Your job is on the brink of being lost. But looking at this Syria, when you see the amount of points these teams are gathering, Inter Milan is fighting for the top spot. Atlanta is currently sitting on it. We have Juventus also at one point trying to sneak in the conversation. But he's looking for competitive in the Italian Serie A, and it's one league that we should be looking out for on how it's going to end. But obviously, AC Milan has to step up, and they have to start stepping up from tonight. Maybe the little bit of break that I'm going to have in this specific period will give the coach enough time to maybe bring out a new bit of ideas that can help change the thing. But obviously, they have the talent. You just have to start finding the back of the goal and try to defend more. Then maybe they can be in contention for at least a strong finish at the end of the season.
All right. Of course, maybe they can be in the run for the strong finish for the season, and those are the fixtures to look forward to in the Italian Serie A. Talking about Milan taking on Verona, Torino at home to Bologna, and of course, Inter Milan still fighting for the title. They take on Como. Atlanta, we hear that Lookman might be returning for this one at home as they take on Empoli. And Atlanta and Napoli are the ones actually in the running for the title. Napoli is away to Genoa. Those are very, very difficult fixtures, most especially Napoli away to Genoa. Okay, time will not permit us to go on and on. James, I'd like you to retire and then prepare for the Christmas or the weekend, okay? And with very blockbuster fixtures, I'll be looking forward to Liverpool versus Tottenham.
Yes, Liverpool Tottenham. I want to see how that particular one is going to pan out, and also Atletico Barcelona. I want to see that one also. And maybe Real Madrid and Sevilla is one match that you're looking like it's not going to be important, but we know that will always be one match that people want to see how it's going to end up. So I will obviously be looking forward for those ones. Then maybe Manchester United Bournemouth.
All right, and of course, unfortunately, Maiwa could not join us to the end of the show. Maybe he had to go and tend to the chicken. Maybe the chicken was escaping. That is why he had to run away. But it was actually due to technical glitches. I want to say big thanks to the guys behind the scene. I give my lives for Manfred, Samuel, and Jeremiah, and of course, Ikechukwu. And that's a wrap on Locker Room this afternoon. I will be seeing you same time next week. Until then, I'm Jerry Apelehai. And if not waiting at all, do it the sports way.